What's up, everybody? Welcome into DodgerHeads, presented by DodgerBlue.com. My name is Jeff Spiegel, joined today by Daniel Starkand, once again here in the Blue Wire Studios from Las Vegas. Daniel, we're talking wild card round, not because the Dodgers are in the wild card round, but
Definitely
because
not.
they are going to be getting the winner of a matchup between the Mets and the Padres. We'll get into the stats, the record against, but as we walk into this series, Mets versus Padres, for the longest time, we thought the Mets were going to win the NL East.
Yep.
The Padres have sort of felt like they were destined for this game all along. On the surface, before we get into anything, Mets and Padres, what are your initial thoughts?
My initial thoughts are that the Dodgers actually got a pretty good draw, like all things considered. Like you just mentioned, we were under the impression pretty much all season that the Mets were going to win their division, and we were potentially going to have to play the Braves in the NLDS. I view the Braves as, right behind the Dodgers as the second best team, so that would not have been ideal.
Yeah.
So it's good that we get to avoid them. And also, looking at the stats, I think you see the Braves and the Cardinals are the two teams who have really hit left-handed pitching well. And if you look at the Dodgers starting rotation, there's a lot of lefties in there. So the fact that they avoid both of those teams, I know the Mets and Padres, they're still two really good teams. There's star power there. But I'd rather have that draw as opposed to having to face, the Braves or the Cardinals.
Yeah, everybody's good at this point, right?
Yeah.
So you're not going to find bad teams really here. Let's get into the records against where these teams rank, and then I'll just ask you, who do you want to face in the NLDS? As far as this season against the Mets, the Dodgers are 3-4. The Mets 6th in runs per game in Major League Baseball, 8th in ERA. Rotation-wise, Scherzer, DeGrom, Bassett, Taijuan Walker, probably the fourth starter is my guess. They've got 3 offensive guys in the top 25 for wins above replacement. Lindor is 6th, McNeil 18th, Nemo 22nd. Padres, on the other hand, 14-5. The Dodgers went against the Padres this year. The Padres 13th in runs scored, 11th in ERA. Darvish, Snell, Musgrove, and Manaea, the rotation. Only one guy in the top 25 for wins above replacement. That's Machado. When you look at these two teams, and obviously we have no control over what's going to happen, so who we want to win is almost irrelevant, but who do you want to win? Who would you rather face in the next round between the Mets and the Padres?
I say this with a lot of confidence, and I hope all of Slam Diego is watching right now.
No.
Give me the Padres. And I know I risk, getting on old takes exposed or whatever, but the Dodgers have absolutely owned the Padres. You just said it, 14-5. They did not lose a single series to them all year. And that's going back to like the middle of last season when that domination really started. So yeah, give me the Padres. Like their lineup outside of Machado and Soto is really not all that impressive to me. Their bullpen is not that impressive to me. There's no Edwin Diaz back there.
Yeah.
Their starting rotation, I respect Yu Darvish a lot. I respect Joe Musgrove a lot. It kind of falls off a cliff after that. And if both of those guys are pitching in the wild card series, they're only, the Dodgers would only have to see each of them once. And then when you look at the Mets side, obviously they got the two aces, and we'll get into that. But Scherzer and DeGrom, those are two guys who, if they're hot and pitching well, they could win you a series pretty much by themselves. Especially when you got Edwin Diaz in the ninth. Like they could give you 7 or 8 innings. You go straight to Edwin Diaz. That does not sound very fun. So I know all of San Diego wants to upset the Dodgers. They want to send all the Dodger fans home sad. But I just don't see that happening if we do get that matchup.
I think your position is the majority position, is my guess, that most people would much rather face a Padres team. And look, on paper, I just said they're 13th in runs and 11th in ERA. They're not in the top 10 in Major League Baseball on either side. You mentioned the pitching. It's not DeGrom. It's not Scherzer. It's not, Lindor, Nemo, and McNeil, and Alonso, and all those types of guys. But I'm going to zag. I would rather face the Mets. And there's one major reason why, and there's one small reason why. The major reason is this. When I think about situations like this, I ask myself one very simple question. Who would I rather lose to? If I had to lose to one of these teams, who would it hurt me more to lose to? And the answer is I would be so miserable if we lost in the NLDS to the Padres. And so that's the biggest reason. You might think that's stupid. That's fine. It's why I didn't want to play the Giants ever in the postseason, because if we win, it was going to be amazing. Yes. But if we win, it's going to be amazing no matter what. If we lose, it's going to be miserable. Yes. But if we lose to the Padres, can you imagine how miserable the next 12 months are going to be? So that's the major reason. The minor reason, which maybe these should be inverted, the Mets are one of the worst teams in baseball against left-handed pitching. The Dodgers have all sorts of left-handed pitching. So you throw those starters out there. I think they match up better against the Mets, as you kind of hinted at, the way that the wild card round is set up with the 3-game series. Scherzer starting game 1, which means he won't be in the NLDS until at least game 2. Now, the Mets are getting a little funky. DeGrom might not pitch. If they can win game 1, and then Bassett would get game 2, and then they wouldn't pitch DeGrom until game 3 if necessary. But if DeGrom goes, then all of a sudden, you're only going to get Scherzer once. You're only going to get DeGrom once. And then the Mets pitching staff, which is the scariest unit of either of these teams, is not nearly as scary for me.
Yeah, for sure. And kind of what you were just saying, I think I'm definitely rooting for the Padres to win at least one game in that wild card series because, like you just mentioned, Buck Showalter. I don't know if he's getting too cute here or maybe he's being genius with what he's doing. But if the Mets are able to sweep that series and not pitch Jacob deGrom, that means the Dodgers get Jacob deGrom in game 1 and game 5.
Yeah,
and mix in Max Scherzer there in game 2. Who knows? Who knows what his arm will be feeling like at that point? We'll see. He could be available out of the bullpen later, as we saw him close out the Giants last year. So to me, that kind of reminds me a little bit of the 2019 National Series where they basically just beat the Dodgers with some timely hitting and just dominant pitching from basically only their starters. Like, it's not like they had a great bullpen, but they were using their starters out of the bullpen. They were getting creative, which you could do in a shorter 5-game series as opposed to the longer 7-game series. So for me, I just would like to avoid that. So I guess we're in disagreement here. I think kind of what you were saying about how it would hurt more to lose to the Padres, it would also be more satisfying to beat the Padres. So that's it for me. Like I just want to beat that team. I want to sweep that team.
Yeah.
Kind of like we did in 2020. But hey, they're both good teams. It's going to be, a dogfight, whoever the Dodgers play. And so I'm the main thing that I'm hoping for is for that wild card series to go 3 games.
Yeah.
Let's as many innings as possible. Let's play 12. Let's play 13. Let's go 18 innings in game 3 for all I care. And then the nice rested Dodgers will just be waiting for whoever, wins.
We're in agreement there. Root for a 3-game series more than anything else. And then you let us know in the comments below who's right. Would you rather face the Mets or would you rather face the Padres? My name is Jeff Spiegel. That's Daniel Starkand. As always, this is DodgerHeads presented by DodgerBlue.com, as part of the Blue Wire Podcast Network, live from the Blue Wire studios here in the Wynn Hotel in Las Vegas. Enjoy the rest of your day. And as always, go Dodgers.